Let's see. All right, what is up, everybody? So not a usual episode of the podcast today. Today I'm going to be writing solo. There's just some things that I've been seeing throughout the day that I kind of want to talk to everybody about. Maybe gauge your guys' opinions, or just have some back and forth about a couple of things. So just some articles or some posts that I just wanted to read in full, because I kind of just skimmed through these things as I saw them throughout the day. Knowing that I wanted to come back and talk to you guys about it. So the first thing that I saw is, just to sum it up, I guess, is Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman have requested to not have Brock lose any of his matches between now and when it is that he inevitably retires. So the rumor is that he is most likely going to be retiring at SummerSlam in Minneapolis, which I believe is this year. So we're looking at somewhere around August. Excuse me. So the reason that I wanted to save this one is because it kind of begs the question to, well, if he's not going to lose between now and then, who really is going to be his WrestleMania opponent? I was under the impression that it was going to be Obafemi, but I don't believe that they're going to have Obafemi lose his first WrestleMania. So the other names that were in there were Seth Rollins, and then we even kind of talked about LA Knight for a little bit. I don't see a world where Seth Rollins, if he were to be medically cleared, I don't see a world where he loses to a Brock Lesnar at this point in his career. Especially, we've seen that match a few times before, and I believe the last one was actually WrestleMania 35, where Seth beat him for the Universal title. So at this point, if this request is granted, I do see it being more of an LA Knight, because I believe that LA Knight can afford to take this loss and not have it hurt him at the end of the day. So yeah, just again, what are your guys' opinions on it? Again, as much as I would love it to be, Brock versus Obafemi, maybe they can just save that for, the last match. Unless, of course, they want to give it to the career killer and Gunther. But, yeah, given what happened at the Royal Rumble with, Brock eliminating Oba, now's not the time to have Oba take a loss, even from somebody like Brock Lesnar. So if this is granted, I unfortunately don't see those two going at it one-on-one, unless they do decide to give Obafemi the rub and have him be the one to retire Brock Lesnar. But of course, we're going to have to wait and see. It's all speculation at this point. We don't even know if, this request is going to be granted. But given that it is both Brock and Paul Heyman requesting it, I don't see them really, fighting it too much. So then the next thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, kind of in the same sphere, I guess. This one says, "Is it time to admit that Paul Heyman turning on Punk and Reigns to align with Seth Rollins was a major Triple H booking flop?" I understand to some degree the maybe disdain or the unpleasantness of people's opinions on Triple H's booking. It hasn't always been 100%, but at the same time, whose has? You know what I mean? I personally don't believe that this was a major booking flop. I think that unfortunately this fell to really bad circumstances. Having Seth Rollins get injured so early on into this was kind of the first stepping stone into making this story kind of crumble apart. That being said, when they had Braun Breaker turn on Seth, they had something there to still kind of progress the story and make it interesting. But again, this story fell to really bad circumstances, where then Braun Breaker gets injured, and then Bronson Reed gets injured, and then you're kind of left, thinking, okay, well, what's the point now? And then even last week on Raw, we had Paul Heyman get written off. So I just, again, I don't believe that this is 100% on Triple H. I think, unfortunately, just bad luck happens sometimes. And this just happens to be one of those times. Again, everybody getting injured at the times that they got injured. At this point, the story is almost a year long, and I want to say Seth got injured sometime, in October of last year. Um, at least his legit injury, not his fake one at during the SummerSlam build. But yeah, I just again, I don't think that this is a Triple H booking flop. It was just bad circumstance. But again, I want to get your guys' opinions on these things. Let's have a little bit of back and forth. Maybe the way I'm thinking about it is completely different than the way you guys are thinking about it. Again, I'm not super fond on this story. I'm kind of over the Vision in general. I'm kind of waiting for what's next, I guess. Um, and yeah, I don't see this as being a booking flop. Um, and you know what, especially because it's also kind of it's making itself seen in what's going to be our night two main event in Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. It's been brought up in promos that CM Punk is the reason that all of this stuff happened. Um, so yeah, I just I think that it was the right choice at the time. Um, I think that they had everybody stayed healthy 100%, that this could have been a really, really good story. It just sucks that, again, people get hurt in this business, unfortunately, and they kind of dragged this story down a little bit. But again, I don't think that that's something that could be blamed on Triple H or anybody in the creative department. Um, so then the next one is it's hot take, hot take. It says Judgment Day Rhea had more aura than current Rhea. This I 100% agree with. I believe that Rhea is more natural as a heel than as a babyface, like we're seeing her right now. She still has great matches. She's pretty much the biggest thing in the company. Um, but when she was a heel, when she was riding with the Judgment Day, and especially when she was riding with Dom, it was just something different there. Like there was just this level of oomph behind her, that we don't see much anymore. And of course, I understand that being a baby face and being a heel are two different things. Um, so of course, a lot of that is going to go away with the baby face turn. But that being said, I kind of hope that we do get to see a heel Rhea, in the near future. I kind of thought that that's where the Rio storyline was going to go. That she was eventually going to turn on Io Sky. I think that would have been a really good idea. Again, that's not the route that they decided to go down. But yeah, just the level of like this says aura that Rhea had during those times was just something. It was something different, and yeah, again, I hope that we get to see that again sometime in the future, and of course, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens with Rhea specifically. So in this last one, I kind of just saved because I don't think this is gonna happen, but it would be really funny. We do have, as you can see here, the Rey de Reyes this weekend. I believe it's on Saturday, where Dom is going to be defending the Mega Campeonato against Hijo de Vikingo. I 100% see Finn getting involved in this and costing Dom this title, just like he cost him the Intercontinental. The only thing that does suck about this, I kind of did hope that when they had their match at WrestleMania, because we know that this is where this is going, I was hoping that when they had that match that it was going to be for some sort of title. When Penta beat Dom for the Intercontinental title, I was like, well, there might still be a chance that Finn could go after the Mega Championship, especially because Judgment Day has done a lot of stuff in AAA. Excuse me. So yeah, I was kind of hoping for something along the lines of this. It's not something that we're most likely going to get as fun as it would be. Especially if Finn were to come out on top and win this championship, then we would see him more in AAA. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think that he would have a bunch of good matches with a bunch of the luchadors that are down there. Especially somebody like Hijo del Vikingo. But yeah, I don't see it happening. I think Finn is going to cost him the title this weekend. I think by Monday next week on Raw, we're going to see Dom with no titles for the first time since WrestleMania last year, I think. I'm looking forward to the rest of the feud between these two. I think that it's going to be really good. I think they're going to have a lot of good back and forth. I want to see if maybe Rey Mysterio gets involved somehow. Especially because Finn did bring him up this past Monday Night Raw. But yeah, I kind of want to see where this goes, and hopefully it goes to what should be a banger of a match at WrestleMania, even if it doesn't have anything to do with any kind of titles. I'm really glad that we're getting babyface Finn back. I've been waiting for this day for years at this point. Finn never needed to have a backing like the Judgment Day behind him. So I'm glad that he's finally back out on his own. Hopefully this means that we do get some title runs from him, even if it's not world titles. Hopefully some mid card titles. I don't want to see him in the tag team division. That being said, I mean his tag team partner turned on him too, so I don't see him being there. But yeah, I hope that we see something good out of this. I hope that Finn gets the push that we've been waiting for the last few years. When it comes to the WrestleMania match that he's eventually gonna have with Dom, I don't want to see the Demon, at least not at that point, because to me it just tells me that like Finn can't do it by himself. He needs the Demon to I guess fight his battles for him. So I want to see straight up just Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, and I hope that Finn goes over. Dom, he can afford to take losses, especially from somebody like a Finn Balor. So yeah, again, I just kind of wanted to talk about these few things that I just saw throughout the day that I wanted to come on here and I guess kind of gauge your guys' interest and maybe have a little bit of a back and forth. If you guys respond to I guess anything that I've talked about today, leave some comments or whatever, and maybe we can make another video off of it where I'm kind of responding to what you guys are saying. So yeah, man, that's it. I know it's kind of a shorter video today. But let me know if you guys like this form of content. Maybe we could start posting a little more. Maybe in the future we could make them a little bit longer. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.